Nina, and thanks so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to be sharing a new Studio Monday video with you featuring Avery Elle products. I'm going to be showing you how I mixed different Avery Elle stamp sets to create a custom and fun scene that features many of their different styles of stamp sets, but they all worked really well together because they're designed by the same company, and a lot of their stamp sets from Avery Elle all have a very particular feel to them. So in this video, I'm also going to be sharing tips for how you can mix and match these stamp sets to be able to make your own custom scenes. This will work for any type of company brand product that you have, because a lot of companies work with a particular style. So they have all of their products have a particular feel to them, or a certain line of their products have a particular feel. So that makes mixing and matching really, really easy. And I'll be illustrating that today with these stamp sets from Avery Elle. So I've got the Storybook stamp set, which is in the middle, the Wild Birthday there on the left, and then Woodland Wonders on the right-hand side. These are all the stamp sets that I'm going to be using from Avery Elle to use as my images, which I've stamped onto Simon Says Stamp cardstock. I stamped that with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black dye ink because it is Copic safe, and I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring. You can see here I've already started the coloring, and I'm bringing in some lighter colors to create a pastel appearance on many of these images. I want to use light colors to be able to give this card a very light and airy feel. This card would be perfect for celebrating either a new baby or a baby's birthday or even a child's birthday. The color scheme is perfect for that style of card. To get the effect I'm looking for, I'm mainly focusing my shading along the very darkest edges, and I'm not using super dark colors, so that way I make sure I get a pastel appearance. I'm also trying to maintain a lot of white space, so as I'm feathering in color, I'm making sure to leave a white highlight because that's going to allow my images to have that pastel appearance. And by using the colorless blender in spots, I'm able to kind of push the color back a little bit and help maintain that white highlight. I've sped through the coloring here because it did take quite a bit of time, and I wanted to be able to show you just a kind of an example of how I did the coloring, but I also didn't want the video to become too long. So I'm just kind of quickly going through the coloring. You can see I did very simple shading. For most shades, I used only 1 to 2 markers, sometimes 3, but most of the time it was just 1 to 2 markers. And again, that was helping me maintain that pastel appearance because I wasn't bringing in a lot of dark color. If you're interested in the colors I used on this card, I have them linked over at the Simon Says Stamp blog, so you can go ahead and check them out. There's a whole list on the Simon Says Stamp blog post that coordinates with this video that'll list all the colors out that I used. So after I colored the images, I'm trimming them out with my scissors. These are fine tip scissors from Cutter Bee, but you could also use coordinating dies. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is, because I'm going to be creating a pastel appearance, I want to create a pastel sky in the background of this card. For that, I'm going to be using the new ink dusters that we have over at Simon Says Stamp. These are by Inkalicious. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And these are beautiful brushes. They have really high quality fibers that aren't synthetic, so which means they hold the ink a lot better than a synthetic brush because it won't bead up onto the bristles. So to use this brush, I'm using this in place of an ink blender. So in the case of an ink blender, normally you'd be blending the color onto the paper. But with an ink duster like this, you're able to brush the ink onto the paper, which gives you a much, much lighter appearance. So you're not getting quite so heavy of an ink color all at once. You have to build up the color quite a bit to be able to get really dark colors. So this is perfect for creating a really light tone. As you can see here, I have it going as a gradient from light to a pinky yellow color. And just by blending 2 colors of Distress Inks on top of each other allowed me to get that really pastel appearance. And you can see here in the photos how beautiful and light that is. I did end up covering up with a dye. As you can see here, I've got this cloud dye and also a grassy border dye. The cloud is from Mama Elephant and the grass is from My Favorite Things. I cut them both from white cardstock, and I'm going to actually be layering these on top of my scene. So most of the coloring isn't going to end up showing through because I wanted just a really light color tone in the sky. So I achieved that by using that ink duster, and that really helped me get that really gorgeous, very pastel appearance. For the grass, I'm coloring this with a couple of G markers that I used on the stamped images. I'm also bringing in a few other shades of green that I did not use on the stamped images. And I'm just using these to create some blades of grass. Just by flicking up some color from the bottom up helps me get a good grass appearance. I also wanted to add a little bit of ink dusting to the cloud itself. I'm bringing in some spun sugar for this. Spun sugar is very light, and by doing ink dusting with that color, you're really getting a very pastel color tone. So you're not going to see this very well in the video, and it's actually a little hard to see in real life too because I end up covering it up with the word celebrate. but it's still there and you can see just a tinge of it, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted a tinge of that color. I didn't want it to be super prominent. I just wanted it to add a bit of subtle color in the background and tie in the other colors that I had going on this card. Alright, so for my sentiment you saw there, I used the Big Greetings stamp set from Avery Elle, and I'm mixing it up with some Altenew Ocean Waves ink. I'm going to stamp this onto some Simon Says Stamp white cardstock, and I also trimmed that out with my fine tip scissors as well. To build my scene, I'm popping the cloud up off of my postage stamped edge frame here, which I die cut from a Hero Arts die set. I'm also popping up the grass. I had to trim the foam tape down to 1/4 of an inch so that way it fit onto my grass border, and I just ended up popping that up off the cloud layer. Next, I'm going to also add dimensional adhesive to the back side of the word Celebrate. I removed the adhesive backing as I was applying the adhesive because that helped me manipulate the shape of the adhesive and help it fit onto the shape of the word Celebrate a lot better. For the banner, I'm using some liquid glue and I'm going to adhere that down. For all of the images in this card, I ended up adhering most of them down with some liquid glue. In some cases, like on the little bird, I added that little bird with a bit of foam tape. But otherwise, I used liquid glue for all of the other images, and I just layered them together to create this really cute scene. By using different images like the party hat from Wild Birthday and the balloons from Storybook, and all the critters are from the Woodland Wonders stamp set, all of these worked so well together because, like I said, companies work with a similar style on all of their products, or at least a good portion of their products. So it helps mix and matching the different products together really easy. So if you're new to scene cards, this is something that you definitely would want to try out because by picking a certain brand and a certain line of products, you'll be able to build them together to create your scenes really, really easily. Now while I was talking, I added some foam tape to the back side of this panel, and I'm popping it up onto a piece of shimmer cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. This is the Sunshine cardstock. I'm also adding some embellishments by using Wink of Stella glitter on the word Celebrate, and I also added that glitter onto the banner as well. I used some white gloss Nouveau drops. I thought this would add a really cute, whimsical feel to the sky. And then I used some of the Sparkles Nouveau drops to add some sparkle onto the party hats and also to the balloons as well. For the last bit of embellishing, I used Sakura Glaze black pen and added some details to the eyes, and that just helps the eyes pop off of these critters and help them have a bit more of a realistic appearance. So I hope this has given you some inspiration on pairing up some stamp sets from a certain brand of products like Avery Elle to create some really cute scenes. By mixing and matching your stamp sets, you can create some really fun custom scenes that really expand the use of your stamp sets and give you a whole new realm of possibilities. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more weekly inspiration. You can find more details on this card over at the Simon Says Stamp blog. There's a link in the video description. And thanks so much for watching. I will see you again soon and have a very happy Monday. Bye!